At this time, I would like to welcome Stephane DECLEE, CEO of ENOVIA, and Morgan ZIMMERMANN, CEO of NETVIBES, up for our keynote presentation. Wow.
Thank you, Kyle. Can I have a question for you?
Yes, sir.
Did you really say that him and I are the queens of the bees?
Yes.
Okay.
We can.
Point taken. Hello, Stephane.
Hello, Morgan. Good to see you again, 1 year later, almost. And good morning to all of you. And again, I want to continue and to thank you for coming. Hopefully, you will do a nice use of this time with us and between yourself during the whole day. Back in Netherlands?
Absolutely.
Back with outages? No, I'm kidding. For the one who were there with us last year, you remember, it was during the conference that we were locked inside with the gas leakage outside. This time we were banned outside with the power outage inside. So anyway, hopefully we will be safe for today. Hopefully.
So, we wanted to start with you by reintroducing the generative economy. If you have been following what we have been saying in the last few weeks, we made quite major announcements. We started by introducing Gen 7 as part of generative economy. Remember, generative economy, it is the combination of the experience economy with circularity and sustainability. But if we go back into our history and remember what we have done so far, we unfolded the world by creating 3D. With digital mockup, we created the ultimate context. For the very first time, the holistic context was not anymore in the head of the architect, it was in the eyes of everyone. We introduced the notion of referential. We then introduced the notion of time while creating PLM, introducing how a product was imagined, designed, manufactured over time. We extended that with virtual twin, change the scale from very large cities and territories to very small, molecular scale, while introducing the business context. We introduced a virtual twin of human, and now we are at the stage of universe. So what is universe? 3D universes? That is actually the holistic view while combining multiple virtual twins. It's not anymore about the virtual twin of a car, it's about the virtual twin of this car in the context of the supply chain, in the context of the users, in the context of the environment within which it's actually being used. So when you start combining virtual twins together, you get a world of possibilities that is globally changing. But Stephane, what does that mean when it comes to ENOVIA and NETVIBES?
Yes, really, when you project our history for both ENOVIA and NETVIBES, actually, we over the last 35 years, we have been going through, up to now, 3 main transformations. The first one, obviously, was the creation of PLM that we did with IBM. It was in the late 90s. Again, it's always good to remember. And then we went from product to experience lifecycle management, with the introduction of the platform in 2014, where we introduced actually the first ever model-based PLM. And then expanding to new category of users, business users, for planning, supply, value network, and experience in operations, or customer experiences. But at the edge of this generative economy, we think that companies will have to continuously evolve and adapt themselves to their evolving external and internal environments. And there will not be a generative economy without regenerative enterprises to be lean, to be efficient, and to still drive sustainable innovation. So in this era, we think that PLM is going to evolve towards IP Lifecycle Management, IP for companies being more and more digital, on the critical asset, not only for your business, but also for your almost evaluation, your value. And then we are going to need to have a way to simulate, organize, plan, and execute transformation of the organization, the way of working, again, from planning to compliance execution. So in this context, and when we look at Gen 7 and the way to build those 3D universes, There are really 7 pillars that we think will be fundamental to this. The first one that Morgan mentioned is about virtual twin, so digital environments plus simulations, behaviors, so they are live, connecting to real-world data. On top of that, we're going to build experiences for users, obviously. We're going to leverage AI to create generative experiences, and you will see a lot of this in the next part of the session. We're going to empower users with what we call virtual companions, not copilot, virtual companions. We're going to experience the cycle of life, from design to operations, physical life of the products. We're going to leverage sense computing, so we cannot see this on the screen, but inside, in an immersive environment. And finally, we're going to capitalize on lifecycle manage, enterprise knowledge and know-how. And you will see a lot of this in the session today. So just to represent this in your mind, because all this is abstract, I put 2 examples on the screen. On the left, you have a system-driven generative design, leveraging based on with some constraints, whatever it is, the space allocations, leveraging past IP from the company, existing design, and of course, complying with requirements, performance, simulation, using simulation and validation. On the right, you have a virtual asset connected to its physical instantiation in the real world, collecting data to do proactive or preventive maintenance, or to have life extension. And I think that we are going to come back on this in a minute, Morgan.
Absolutely.
So Morgan, I think that this is, maybe people think that this is science fiction. Is it science fiction?
No, it is not science fiction. It is science plus data science.
Okay.
That looks simple. And you know, we have decided with Stephane that we are going to talk a lot about AI in this introduction, because in every single place we go in the world, this is the first topic that comes into the place. So we're going to talk about AI.
And again.
But we don't talk AI, we don't call AI. We call it generative experience. So some of you might think this is another time that a system inventing its own words. No, that's not true.
Never do that.
But that's not true, because generative experience is not about AI only. It's about science and data science. This is the reason why it's not called AI. Because we have the very strong belief that we always need to combine the world of representation, modeling and simulation, with the world of observation, which is data science. Why? The world of representation is giving you something very important. It is a projection system. You know, when you want to do AI, it's very easy to do AI with geeks somewhere in a laboratory. But when you want to scale it across an organization, across 10 organizations, across 1,000 organizations, most cases you have a problem. Because you have to have a way to have a common understanding of the data. And to do that, you need a projection system. That can be an ontology, that can be a system model, that can be a model of the product or the factories or the company you're working on. So the world of representation is very critical for that. The second reason why it's important, it's about data. You know, if you talk to everyone in the Silicon Valley, their single biggest problem in life is access to data to do AI. And globally, you know, now that they have used the entire web to learn, they turn around and say, well, where do we find the next data to learn? And by the way, the web is shrinking for them, because people are now putting IP on the web, so you can't use the web as you used to use it to do global learning. But if you think about it, with realistic virtual world, we can generate data for products that don't even exist yet. We can generate data for usage conditions within which we wouldn't want to put Stephane as a pilot.
Synthetic data?
Synthetic data. This is exactly the world. And last but not least, if AI is predicting, you know, anomalies or risks or whatever, how do you do what-if scenario if you don't have the power of modeling and simulation? So this is why the combination of ModSim, world of representation, and data science is so critical. We have introduced, by the way, a very large set of generative experiences. All of what you see on the screens are off-the-shelf available in 2025. I'm not going to go through all of them, but this list includes quantum mechanical simulation to start imagining new materials within minutes, not months of quantum calculations. We have introduced generative design, whereby you define a space of constraints, and generative design is offering, an infinite number of possibilities while providing the designer with the possible arbitrations. We are introducing requirements, generative requirements, going from document into model-based requirements that you can actually simulate, from text to simulable model requirements. Predictive maintenance, field quality intelligence, you name it. But I think, Stephane, we're going to show quite some of these examples.
A few of them. Maybe they will get tired with it at the end. We see. So when you think about what we do, for many of these together with Morgan, is there are really two parts. The contribution to the what you have on the left here, I think, yes, to your left. We release how to manage configuration, lifecycle for what we call the virtual twin of the product. But also there is another dimension, which is the why, the how, the who, which is really about how to organize, orchestrate, govern organizations to achieve their objectives. This is really what we call the virtual twin of the organization itself. And the example that we are going to take are going to reach both of them, but I think especially on the right side, I think, Morgan.
Absolutely. And by the way, if you have listened to what we said, at the announcement of Jensen, we introduced these missions. So let me give you some subtitles. You remember the if we loop that we introduced a couple of years ago. When we introduced the if we loop, we globally declared that we will not only allow to manage a world of imagination, designing new products, but we will also go into the world of operation, managing this product as being used on the field and do continuous learning. But with what Stephane said, we're not only about making the what, making the product, but it's also about how do we manage the organization itself to make it happen. And that translates into the list of people that are now users of the 3D Experience platform. So there are some obvious things on this screen, research, engineering, operation. But what's interesting is we are declaring that for many, and that's, by the way, is already a very strong reality for thousands of our customers, that we also have the salespeople using the 3D Experience platform for trusted end user relationship. We also have the customer service people for inclusive experience in life. We also have the CFO for responsible and profitable business models. And of course, the whole of that with a very strong focus on IP sovereignty. Stephane said it, we are about IP lifecycle management. For most of our customers and most of you in the room, there is nothing more important than the IP that you're managing within our platform. It's our duty to make it sovereign and secured.
So let's move to the few examples. So the first example I want to take is this trusted end-user relationship with personalized sales experiences. So this is a new solution that is going to come to market this year, between the first half and the second half of the year, which really aim to connect engineering, configurations, to pricing, marketing, and at the end, the sales dimension, and to streamline and connect the two together, to simplify the process, again, from engineering to sales, to do faster decision-making, of course, also, and to get to the so that you have the right information available, the correct one, so you can reduce risk, but also increase margin. So let's see that in actions with the video.
With the increasing need for customization and standardization, configure price quote solutions are essential for streamlining and automating the sales process. The sales expert can generate quotes that meet customer expectations. He selects precise configurations and valuable offers based on a commercial definition that aligns with engineering specifications. Once ready, the quote can be synchronized with CRM to support the sales engagement process. A fully resolved engineering definition can be generated from the selected configuration to support the downstream processes.
This sales configuration design relies on the commercial and the engineering definitions of products. Both share the same definition of variability. Companies can develop a portfolio of highly configurable products within the 3D Experience platform to empower sales experts in their sales engagements. A comprehensive portfolio view, integrating product details, configuration options, and pricing from PLM and ERP systems, is crucial for salespeople to meet customer needs accurately. Sales Experience Designer can build simple but powerful sales experiences using the commercial twin and the offer packaging. He can tailor these experiences to ease the selection of the right configured solution. He designs user experiences to align with the targeted sales script and highlight the configured value that meets customer expectations.
So I think powerful for all ETO and CTO-driven companies.
Indeed.
Next, Morgan.
Second example. So we said we are going to address the product in operation. Most of you have assets that are in the field, and most of you have connected assets. So some people one day believed, that you could manage connected assets just with an IoT platform. We believe it's not the case, because you need the virtual twin of the asset for that. Let me show that in practice. So what you see here is a real physical car. Believe me, that's a real car. That car is actually connected. And because it is connected, we're capturing real-time data on this car, and we can identify, anomalies. This is cycle of life. The next topic is, can we scale the problem? Is this happening to one car only, or to couple cars? In this case, couple cars. By the way, what are the type of cars that are having these problems? What are the patterns that are describing the specific car configuration that are having these problems? The next question is, how many cars may have this problem in the future? But to do that, you need to be able to navigate into the entire genealogy of every single car, so you can anticipate the reproduction of this pattern, how they have been maintained, how they are being operated. So we are connecting, all of the CRM systems to have this entire genealogy. So now we know not only if this is a unique problem or a global problem, we know how many cars are concerned, and we know which of these cars might actually be concerned in the future. This is what we call generative experience. The next step is, can I troubleshoot? To troubleshoot, you need knowledge and know-how. And here the engineer is actually capable of navigating the system model of the car to understand, what was the requirement of this car, how it was implemented, how it is supposed to work and to behave. So this is about navigating the engineering knowledge and know-how in the context of troubleshooting that specific car. Knowledge and know-how. But then, let's understand how it should have worked. To understand how it should have worked, what we do is we are finding out what is the car that is having the same configuration for which we have simulation results. We are replaying the behavior of the car in the virtual world, so we can compare the virtual behavior with the real-world behavior. And indeed, with that, we are actually capable of understanding where the problem actually comes from. I can tell you, if you try to do what I just did, just with an IoT platform, there is no way you can contextualize, understand, simulate, all of what happened without the virtual twin of the car itself. So this is why we believe so much in combining the real with the virtual.
Next one?
Yeah.
Let's go. So delivering project, on time, on target, for large to small scale project is a day-to-day concern for all of us, I think. So how to really empower users with best practices, knowledge, how to automatically assess and predict task delays based on also past experience, how to increase actually the productivity by automatically generating project, task, or even complete report. Let's see that in action.
The 3D Experience platform enables project managers to increase project success rates and user productivity. Project Virtual Planner improves the quality of project plans by teaching you best practices and standards. It also works for you by identifying tasks at risk early and generating mitigation suggestions to ensure project success. In this example, Project Virtual Planner helps to break down a task that is too long into smaller subtasks with clear descriptions and assigns them to the right people.
Finally, it generates project status reports in seconds, freeing project managers for more strategic tasks.
You know, Stephane, now I know why Ahmed and Susan were not stressed during this preparation, because the virtual companion was actually doing the work for them.
Yes, I think they get some help. I agree, Morgan. But still.
I would like to go into the world of money now. Let's talk about money for a few minutes. I know there are not so many CFOs in the room, but still. You know, most of our customers, industrial customers, the cost of goods sold represent up to 70% of their total revenue. Out of that, whatever, 20 to 30% is actually commodities. We can save from 5 to 13% of this spending. So this is 1 to 2% of the total revenue of the company that can be saved with generative experience, leveraging AI, leveraging 3D to identify, saving opportunities. So let me show you how this is actually working.
First, always remember all experiences presented are accessible within few clicks as a service, on the cloud, with built-in ability to leverage raw data that are still locked in the on-premise world, both ours or others. As you can see on the screen, as soon as elevated on the cloud, chaos is transformed into order with AI, leveraging a combination of shape and function analysis to automatic classify components in the right E-class taxonomy nodes. For the procurement analyst, this AI-driven virtual twin experience identifies saving opportunities which so far were invisible. The bubble chart here is really interesting. It's actually highlighting clusters of similar parts with significant price differences while being a computed alternative of one another. The selected example shadows 1.2 million euros of immediate savings. With an engine currently purchased 850 euros, while there are relevant alternatives at 252 euros. The experience, enabled in few clicks, detailed comparisons of the selected engines from a sourcing standpoint, an engineering standpoint, a functional standpoint, and with that, the procurement analyst is actually guided in the selection of the most cost-effective and functionally compliant alternative with a positive business case. The opportunity is then submitted to engineering. Engineers are notified from within their work context. The notification includes obviously the context, the savings opportunity, and the direct access to the proposed alternative engine. He can access all important information, models, and documentation to validate the replacement of the current engine. Validation and information of procurement for the next step is a single click away.
If you remember, Stephane, in the past, to do that, between procurement, costing, and engineering, people were exchanging emails and Excels and PowerPoints.
Still today, I think. Yeah.
Welcome to the world of bees.
So moving to quality, achieving total quality on both to drive customer satisfaction, of course, but also to comply with continuously or ever-changing regulations. You need to have an integrated approach for quality, and also you need to have to go from a file-based, again, document-driven paradigm to a data-driven one. So how can we leverage generative AI also to accelerate, improve the transition from reactive to preventive and preventive quality?
Patrick is responsible for ensuring the quality of the company's products. He has deployed a quality management system that provides an end-to-end solution for the enterprise. This quality management system includes process models covering all quality needs and even additional processes designed directly by the organization. Each process model displays a form to collect data and decisions. It has a predefined workflow of tasks to pass from user to user. Robin is an expert in the process where a problem has occurred. He receives a task advising that a CAPA has been raised to resolve a quality complaint. He can review the information available and items impacted by the original report. Problems often repeat themselves. The system has built-in AI to identify if this problem has occurred before, what the solution was and how long it took to resolve. This machine learning analysis takes into account historical records from multiple quality systems. This analysis is based on AI matching of the natural language characteristics of each quality record. Patrick is able to review the analysis and proposed solution from Robin. After assessing feedback from other stakeholders, he can formally approve this change applying an electronic signature. AI, historical records and best practice processes on the 3DXperience GXP cloud.
That's impressive, Stephane. But I think we want to go a bit further. You said, we can do the what, but also the how at the scale of the company. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, we spoke about continuous transformation required to be resilient while driving innovations on matching or adapting to external challenges or the CEO request that we have sometime as well. So really how to simulate, how to assess a model and then simulate those possible transformations on the organizations before defining or selecting the best one and then getting the right content to put it in operation. Let's see that in a video.
The virtual twin of the organization is described as an abstraction of the enterprise within its ecosystem. The enterprise is likened to a system of systems, complete with internal and external interfaces and encompassing all its value streams. This virtual twin allows for seamless navigation across different levels of the organization, such as drilling down into the product development value stream. Key performance indicators play a role in revealing an organization's performance, but the focus should be on the transformation journey itself. How to fundamentally change the organization to achieve better results. The main challenge is compressing the vehicle development timeline from 150 weeks to 100 weeks. The first outcome of creating a virtual twin of the organization is providing a holistic view of all required services, orchestrated along CAR program milestones. It also offers visibility into key KPIs and the associated resources, including roles, processes, and deliverables. The success of virtual twins depends on data. By projecting data from past vehicle programs onto the model, AI-enabled generative experiences reveal opportunities for reducing lead times. These opportunities are visually represented using bubble maps. With this data-driven approach, the virtual companion, a digital assistant, helps prioritize areas for improvement. It identifies 3 critical priorities: digital design, digital simulation, and sourcing. Following this analysis, the focus is placed on optimizing the vehicle co-design system, where the return on investment for transformation is most significant. To capture the current state, a virtual twin of the existing processes, roles, and skills within the organization is created. This new capability allows for detailed analysis of inefficiencies in the co-design process, such as overcosts, overcapacity, and other performance issues. The analysis reveals that the collaborative process between design and simulation is a significant area for improvement. By placing experience at the core, step changes are modeled through 5 alternative scenarios, each employing different methods of orchestrating skills and resources. Simulations are conducted across multiple CAR programs, considering activity distribution and varying skill levels for each scenario. This shift from intuition to evidence allows for informed decisions based on factual trade-off impact analysis. A skills-driven modelization and simulation allocation strategy is chosen. To support this transformation, designers validate their designs through simulations themselves. The approach allows to visualize the evolution from the organization as is, towards the organization to be. This approach identifies the optimal transformation path to reduce both time and costs in a deterministic manner. The organization is prepared to implement these changes in the next CAR program. This development enables teams to confidently embark on their transformation journey.
That's a breakthrough, isn't it? Going from...
I think so.
Yeah. Let's continue our journey.
Yeah, so to conclude, 2 key points. All those topics for people Gen 7 is not only for large enterprise. I want to give a very practical example with a small company. For the one who were with us last year, I'm sure you recognize Daniel. He has an enthusiastic presentation on stage. explaining.
He's the one that said that in his company, you have right to no WhatsApp, no email, no SMS, no SharePoint, nothing.
All in the platform.
All in the platform.
So he scaled from, in 4 years, from 1 to, we love this, of course, yes. He scaled in 4 years, he scaled from 1 to almost 60 people last year on a plan to grow double this in the coming years. He's doing specialized machines for manufacturing. So really today on the ETO side of the business. So if you go in where he is today and what he explained last year, leveraging 3D from the initial sales contact with clients down to delivery. As you said, leveraging the platform across all functions, from sales to finance to HR, of course, engineering, manufacturing, connecting all people in one thread of communication with a single source of information to be shared. But now we are starting to embrace or to engage in this Gen 7 journey, with several topics. He has been building, I think, 5,000 to almost 10,000 pages of wiki on contents to capitalize on his best practices, knowledge, know-how in the company. He's going to leverage Aura, which is our conversational assistant, companion, that will help him interrogate and interact with his content. He's going to extend to business processes to do, as he scale up, process operation, optimization, and standardization. He's going to leverage data science to drive data-driven decision-making in context for all the different company stakeholders. And then he's imagining to work on new business models on the top right, talk about this virtual twin in operation. He wants to sell access to the virtual twin of the products, of the machines. At the same time, he's selling the physical, at the end, equipment to the clients. So 2 business models. And also to leverage this immersive ETO-based configuration. So let's conclude. Last slide. So what are the 7 topics that, 7, if you catch it. The 7 topics that you have to keep in mind of what we are really focusing on working on with many customers worldwide.
So, and you have breakout sessions for all of this, but I think it's interesting to remember all of our customers in the world, they want to compress time, at least most of them. Maybe some of you who don't have that constraints, but most of them, they want to compress time, go quicker, without compromising on cost, without compromising on quality, without compromising on performance.
With no more resources.
With no more resources, of
or
course.
less, eventually.
But to do that, the program control tower, the planning, is at the core of it. And it's driving a very large share of our conversation in the world. Our customers are going into the world of operation. The revenue, the margin, in many cases, is coming from the world of operation. Being able to operate the asset in life as connected asset, leveraging virtual twin, as just introduced, is a game changer. And this is the second conversations we're having with most of our customers. And last but not least, these days, there are quite some uncertainties, in the world. Volatilities, price constraints. So the world of the money has become essential. And along with ENOVIA and NETVIBES, we have reinvented how to manage sustainable value network, recreating the connection between engineering and procurement, leveraging AI to drive costs down, and this is really a big driver. What else, Stephane?
I think that you said earlier, I think there is 3 missing. So one, of course, we thought about this integrated ETO, sales configurations, CPQ, like we call it, to connect engineering and sales for the sales experiences. Of course, we are highly focusing on product development, to do integrated software-driven products, combining both mechanical, electronics, and software, while complying with sustainability, cost, or weight objectives. And finally, as we show in the last video, we are really working on helping companies to virtualize their operations, to really see how to optimize the way they are working across the organization. So this is basically the 7 topics that we are working on with our teams.
Please challenge us in the next 2 days on this. We are more than happy to help. Thank you. Thank you, Stephane.
Thank you, Morgan.